the February 13, 2023 meeting.
24.
Adjust your agendas. It's 2024.
Oh, 24, okay.
We'll call the meeting to order. Let's stand, please, for the invocation by Wayne.
Our Heavenly Father, thank you for this day, Lord. Thank you for the way you work in this neighborhood. Lord, we just know that your blessings come our way, and we just ask you to be with us during this meeting. We just ask you to open our hearts and our minds and keep us focused on what our goals are. Lord, we give you the honor and the glory, and we praise your name.
And if you would please, pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the next meeting. And the next meeting.
We approve this. We'll do that. So, thank you all for coming out tonight. We will move on to roll call
Glenn Utter,
here.
Tom Trammell,
Here.
Vonda Ackerson,
Here.
James Baker,
Here.
Mike Davis.
Here.
Sammy Keene.
Here.
Tommy Matthews,
You had to be out of town.
Rick Baum,
Here.
Kathy Riker. Here. Wayne Sellers.
Here.
Charlie Thompson.
Here.
Terry Hester. Here. Vicky Olson.
He had to go to town.
Vicky M.
Here.
And Bill Grimm.
Yeah.
Judy Grimm.
Here.
Is Stephanie still an alternate?
Did she resign? Did we get a resignation from her?
Or she's absent? Okay.
Okay, so, motion, or we need a motion to approve the agenda. I mean, I'm sorry, approve the excused members. It's been a while. Have a motion?
Got a month.
Motion by Jim,
Second.
motion second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
You got to make it.
Got it.
Wayne, okay. We'll move on to approving the agenda, and there are a couple of changes on the agenda that's printed. So we have the year wrong on tonight's meeting and on the next meeting in March. It should be 2024. Sorry, I gave it to you that way. So that's the way it is. We have a motion to approve agenda.
Make motion.
Motion by Vonda.
Second.
Second by Mr. Trammell. Any discussion on the agenda? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay, we'll move on to the minutes. Bill?
I've received extensive typos that I will be correcting tonight from Vicky, soon to be Sellers. Is there anybody else that wants to contribute to my, I really felt like I was lucky to get this out. For some reason, these 3 weeks just really crept up on me. So at least I got them out last time.
If you could just make mention of those officially, the changes, and then if anybody else does, and then we'll approve those.
I don't have their email. And that's the only
I
thing.
emailed it to her today and
Oh,
And I
she was out of
in
town.
Gainesville.
oh.
So
okay.
anyway, we'll post these meeting minutes once approved tomorrow after I make the changes. And if
it's
you
just
want-
mostly typos.
it's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
It's one amendment to minute 14. And Chairman of the election of officers are nominated Bill Hunter for chairman and Tom Trammell for vice chairman, seconded by Tommy Matthews, as well as others. Motion passed unanimously. I'd just like to add there with the commendation and gratitude for God well done.
Okay.
Well, can I go to the bank with that one? Thanks, Rick. Appreciate it.
A kind word goes a long way. Thank you,
Yeah,
Rick.
appreciate that.
But those are all big words and I may have to have Vicky look at them again.
I may have to call you Rick.
So we need a little bit of guidance on the minutes, and if we approve these, they'll be subject to change.
No.
So we're gonna bring them back next.
No, they're just typos. They're just because I was rushing out. Like, see,
Yes,
Right.
I think it would be appropriate.
Mr. Chairman, these are simply Scribner's errors.
Yeah.
These are not a
Scribner's
substance.
It's like the she's doesn't have a apostrophe. I mean, it's
I think there
it's-
was one sentence that wasn't complete, but
Okay.
Yeah.
it's probably not missing very many words.
How many people around here speak in sentences?
Really?
You've read the minutes
Complete
and
sentence.
the Scribner's potential you've seen here on. So we'll accept a motion to reflect that.
You know what I
So
mean?
we have a motion.
Yeah, I make a motion to reflect the changes that she's gonna make.
At Scribner's errors. Okay. A motion by Wayne and a second by
Okay.
Mr. Trammell. Any further discussion on the minute? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We'll move now to the secretary's report. Madam Secretary,
Seconded that, please.
it was seconded by Mr. Trammell, I think.
Graham. All right, I don't have anything to report, under here. I will under old business.
You, Gilda? Vicky, treasurer's report?
Okay, banking information as of January the 31st. Seacoast checking account. This is our working fund, 22,504.15. Our reserve savings account is $50,050.80. And our membership account is $98,199 for a total of $170,753.95. Our deposits for the month were $99,196.55. On the back of this report is the profit and loss for January. About the only thing that's out of the norm on here is, last month I paid our liability insurance, which was $2,537. The portalets, for January was $1,000. You'll see 900 under Columbia and 100 under Swanee. And, the bill has come in for February. And of course, we reduced those. So now our bill is, $627. So we're saving $373 a month,
Starting next month.
starting this month in February. Yeah, I wrote the check for 627 for February.
So that's minus 3 parts. Which parts did you choose?
She'll give you that in her report.
No, Stephanie's here.
Oh, great. Thank you, Stephanie. On the current report, you'll see under office supplies, under membership expenses, that's a little high this month. It's because $1,163 is for our TREPO invoices that came from Renaissance Printing, and that was $1,133 just for the invoices. So that's why that's high. Under park manager taxes, we pay our taxes on bills pay quarterly, and that's why you see that. We don't have to pay it monthly. Since we only have one employee, we pay it quarterly. So that's why you'll see that on there. It looks like it's elevated. I guess the rest of mine can be under new business.
Okay. Any board members have any questions, in regards to the finance report? So you make a motion to approve the finance report? Motion by Sammy? Second by Charlie. Any discussion on finance report? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We will move on to the president's report. Terry?
I just want to talk about the fish fry budget, talk about that new deal. But we're not gonna be able to do the, spring dance in February because we got so much going on with membership and stuff, so we're gonna try maybe do it something in April, and it's gonna be warm. And plus the, keys that are going out, people need to understand it's taking 2 to 3 weeks because of the way we process them this year, or they would not be put through machines. Danny can show you the envelope that we're using, or I can show you one right here. This is how we're sending them out, so they don't go to the machine.
But wait, the stamps are actually
Yeah.
non-machinable stamps, and I
Right,
think that's
right.
what's taken longer.
Also too, Terry, I appreciate you accommodating those folks that are coming up that,
Yeah.
that will need a key. I know you would
Yeah.
accommodate
Yeah.
those calls. So that's,
Plus anybody, if they ain't paid, they come to my house and I accommodate them that way too, so
okay,
they just have to call me, that's all.
great.
Other than that, I'll talk about fish fry when we get done, maybe.
All right. Any board members have, yes, Sam?
I have a question. On the keys, the leftover keys, could we, get those, the old keys, could we get those back, melt them down and sell them?
We put a
Who are we
copy,
gonna get them back from? The members?
Yeah.
We got a
When
whole
we
bunch
turn-
back.
I think we had some.
we
had
got some, we put a thing out to collect some.
Yeah, well,
Some did get
that's what I
collected.
think. I mean, you swap them out whenever you come to get the keys, swap them out. And
But some,
little
but a
tiny-
lot go in the mail.
Well, I mean, they don't have to send on, maybe if we have just a box, if they would drop them.
Are you gonna donate the gas to melt them down?
Yeah. Same thing.
What is it,
It's
Brad?
just- That's why I'm so crazy and all.
I understand.
It's.
What temperature do they have to go to actually, transport?
Hot.
Perhaps a lot higher than what, yeah.
All right, so that's,
Or you don't have to melt them down, you can just put them in like they are, you know, just bundle them.
Can we melt them down for you first?
That lady asked you today,
Just enough.
was a lady asked you
it's
to ask a
1,700
question about
degrees is
something.
what you'll have to get the temperature up to,
We
according to
got
Siri.
Oh, yeah, we can.
a lot of people in hot air.
Yeah, we.
But that'll go
Don't look at me
fast
when you
then.
say that.
Okay, all right, we'll get back on target here. Anyone else have any questions of Terry? All right, we'll move on then to the park manager's report, Bill.
As usual,
He skipped
I didn't give it, tell me to get it redacted, so, the gates are still a problem. I'm gonna say that every time till I stop having to write down gate open or unlock.
I got it.
There's a tree down in Point Park. It's been down since since a bad wind we had. It wasn't a hurricane or anything. I've lined up a member of ours who's gonna give me a hand with his tractor. He's got a big one. And now that the water's going down, hopefully this week we can get over there and I'll go out there and be able to cut it. Before it was a little bit under the water. We didn't really want to mess with it. So that'll be taken care of.
That's a very famous tree too.
Yeah, I hear it's got a lot of history.
I remember that since I was a kid, so. It's either a wild chestnut or a wild pecan tree that was right there in the water. The ground used to be about 20 feet in front of it
Yeah,
at the very end down there. And we even talked with the management district on trying to come up with a plan to save it, maybe with some rocks and stones, and just never could get anywhere with it. It's too complicated. So it's gone now, and you saw the root system on it. So we're gonna have some major issues there with erosion, and that's, a lot of that's caused by, of course, people getting out there. But a lot of boats charge in the river
yeah.
there, when there's nobody there, they charge in the river. And those waves had a huge effect on that. So it's sad because that tree's been there a
Yeah,
long time. Yes, sir.
Well, wasn't that long ago, DEP came through with through cleaned it up. Since there is gonna be probably an erosion problem, maybe we would check with DEP about either assistance with it, it's that big a tree, and then compensating that area so it doesn't wash out in the road before.
Yeah, have you ever done that before? It's pretty complicated, the paperwork and the people they have to get approvals through on all of that. But we still got to get it cut off of the walkway.
It's laying on the ramp.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
Above it.
all the weight is on the ramp. I think it's caught up in another tree.
Yeah.
But we'll see when I cut it.
Well,
We
you
cut
got a
it.
guy that's going to help you with that right now. So that's,
Yeah, he's the same member that helped out here.
okay. Yeah, yes.
When we did that ramp down there and there's other improvements with the parking lot and stuff, Jackie Moore is the one who was able to get that done quick. I had a couple of paperwork, she said you had it, but I might ask her about it, she might know what help.
She's out of town for 3 months.
Yeah, I know. I think she's still helping.
I actually talked with the management district It's 3 girls, 3 engineers came, and that process of going down there on that river edge is monumental. I mean, it is a very arduous process. I'm not sure what we'll do. Maybe we'll just pull a couple of stones there and set them there just to help with something. I don't know. We might can get by with that. All right. Bill, it's back to you.
People are still putting beer cans up in the rafters of the pavilion at Camping Park. I talked to I guess it's somebody's memorial or something. I don't know what it is, but it belongs to everybody. It don't belong to one person. And let's see, the Porta Johns.
Can we talk to those people that are doing it? We know who's doing it.
No, I haven't. I don't talk to them because of the past histories.
Okay. I'll be glad to go down there with you and talk to them.
But they're never there whenever I see them.
We know who we are.
Yeah, they're the same ones that leave the gates open too. So, and let's see. Okay. Let me talk about
Yeah, go ahead.
John's. Porta John's been removed from Bridge Park, Fishing Park, and from Brannan Park. Now, I'm gonna start taking pictures when people start taking a crap around. I'm gonna start taking like they did before we put them in there, and we can just put them on Facebook, and everybody can see exactly what's going on. So
You think
Well-
you must possibly get them in the act?
that'd be great, wouldn't it?
Well, we had to cut back somewhere.
I know. It's not true.
Yeah.
I know.
We had major cuts on the budget, and that was one of the places that really, it has saved us a good bit of money.
Would you be able to identify them from that angle?
I think I can get a DNA on them.
Continue, please, Mr. Brown.
Everybody, I'm just stand up.
Go ahead, Bill.
Okay, I don't understand it. Okay. There's no vehicles allowed in Brandon Park and Fishing Park. Now they're really wet. Brandon Park, they were able to get golf carts in there for something. And I haven't taken care of that problem, but I will, so they can't get nothing through there. Yeah. Let's see,
Kind of dogs.
double up on that one. Dogs are still being taken into the parks. I only go out and check the parks once a day at different times. So, I can't catch them all the time. It's all of our parks. Members should mention something to these folks and that have a dog there. I don't know what the issue is. It's written right there on the sign when they go in. Same with no trespassing and everything. So please, somebody's going to get hurt and we're all going to have to pay for it.
We're turning into Chicago, aren't we?
It's tough. Yeah, I know that. We don't, good thing we don't have any stores, huh? Turn the fans and lights off on the pavilion out here whenever you're using it at night, please. And there also, whenever you're using the pavilion with a group of folks, please do not prop the door open and leave the gate open, and leave it open for the whole time the guests are all here, because I've come by a few times, they take a stick and they'll prop it open while they're having a get together or whatever, a family.
Is it an issue of going back to the lights and things? Has that been a big issue?
Not real bad, just a few times, and I just figured, might as well hopefully catch it. And, let's see. I don't know if the board will agree to this, but we still have, plenty of firewood in the parks. If people want it, if they're members. If they want to go to the, Bridge Park, I can help them, let them into where they can get some of that there's some big firewood stacked up there. And people can get going in the entrance of Mid Park. There's a bunch of wood there, firewood.
Something that could be posted on the website and then it's just have a phone call.
Yeah, that would be great. And I'll help them if they want to get those big logs out of there. They're already cut up. So,
I'll take you up on that.
Okay, good. I don't know if I can lift them. I have to bring some help.
I've got a big truck, so I need somebody else. to
Well, I
lift it.
can't lift it.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Well, you're gonna have to take a couple guys. Charlie's up and around now, so I think he's.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Yeah.
Bouncing on his crutch.
So if we can get some of that, and as people walk around the parks, please pick up anything that's floated up from from the water being up high, and branches and stuff, just throw it up in the woods, garbage, throw it in the cans. And I think the parks will come along pretty good. They're slowly coming back to life, you
I
know.
appreciate your patrolling, Bill, for the consistency that you're putting, it's making a big difference, still enough, so appreciate that. Anything else, any questions of Bill? Okay. All right, we'll move on then to the Communications Committee report. Vonda?
All right, yeah, we'll cover the membership numbers. As of right now, the Columbia County side has 581 members. Suwannee County has 202, so we're at 783 members total for February 2024.
Well, you're good.
So Terry has been working from sun up till sundown, 7 days a week. And yeah, Wayne's been stamping, and Judy, everybody,
Vicky's been helping Wayne.
yeah. So we've had help, but it is a lot. It's a massive undertaking, and I just want to say to anyone that's listening that calls Terry's house, because her phone it does ring all day, and a lot of people are nice and kind to her, but there's a good bit of people that call her. They're mean to her. They say ugly things to her, and they're just rude. And she really does go out of her way and allows people to come to her home to pick the keys up. And I feel she's more than accommodating to the members. So
I agree.
I hate it, when people have to be mean to her, because she's very kind and she's working herself silly, trying to
Right.
do the right thing and get everything out.
Terry, I don't think you should have to take that kind of abuse, so, I would say this, if you would like to, when someone starts down that road, give them my phone number. Tell them to give me a call and be glad to take it from there.
You can get the name?
I can remember, yeah.
She knows everybody. And their number.
Yeah, if you wanna know something,
Okay.
call Terry.
All right, Vonda?
I did have one. Were we looking at the 6th here? Yes.
Yeah.
Because she had talked about the fish fry. Just mark your calendars. The first Saturday in April, it's April 6th, is the date we're going to be doing the annual fish fry. So mark your calendars.
Hey, what day?
April 6th.
Okay, I would like to ask you too, going back to the membership numbers.
Mhm.
Usually we kind of gauge where we were in the previous year.
I can tell you.
Do you have an idea of where we were about this time last year?
We're about 100 over where we were last year, I do believe. 23, February of 23, we're at 694.
Okay, so,
So just to compare, just to give you a little bit, so this time last year, we had 516 for Columbia, and this year we have 581. Suwannee, we had 178, and now we have 202. So this time last year we had 694. This year we have 783. So just to kind of give us a,
Excuse me,
yes.
April the 6th, what time?
When you get here to get everything set up.
Well, I set it up the day before. I usually do.
We have a wedding that day, so we'll have to bug out
Not ours, somebody else's.
somebody else's. We'll be married by then.
you never know.
You push this
Somebody
thing.
may not have-
Huh?
There's plenty of time.
So the reason we did it that day is because the following, it's probably, is that the
That's okay, I'm
catfish?
just curious of the time, so.
The Suwannee, yeah.
That's right, you didn't want to
So
conflict with
we
that.
did last year, I think
Yeah.
we hit the same day, so we tried to separate
It's a
that.
good day, we just, well,
What time's your wedding? The wedding that you're going to?
Oh, it's at 4:30.
30.
So we'll have to leave like by 3:30.
Yeah, probably around 3.
You'll be
Three,
done
3:30.
cleaning up by then.
Yeah.
We'll make
We'll change
sure,
clothes
we'll make
in
sure
the
we start
A-frame.
to clean up early.
We'll leave at 12 and leave.
All right. Sounds good.
Sounds like a deal.
That's pretty much, sorry, it.
Let's go.
Anything
Rhonda,
else?
Anyone have any
PR.
questions of the communication committee?
Did you have anything else for me to hit?
Well, the fish fry, I'm gonna call the guy we get our fish from and get a price on everything, and then we'll need to next month come up with what we're gonna charge at the fish fry.
If you can get an idea on the fish, we can kind of get a rough estimate to bring back to the board. Another thing, I just want to kind of bring this up because I know everybody's like, the board members are getting paid, officers are getting paid. No one is getting paid. What the checks, I mean, Terry's done gate greeting, but other than that, any checks, if you go through any of our financials and look anything that has my name is reimbursement for anything that I've purchased for these community events or the office thing, anything that's to help this organization run. And I use the Trepo money like my own money. I am thrifty. And Terry can tell you that because Terry wants one brand of beans. I'm going for the cheaper brands because it can save us a few dollars per can.
She gets 90% off of everything.
I do. Most of the stuff that we use for Christmas, Easter, Halloween, I usually buy it between very rarely 50%, usually 75 or 90% off. So that's how we're able to do a lot of the toys for the kids and the gifts and the fun stuff.
You can
So-
give you my list.
She's the best shopper I
So-
ever saw.
But you know what I'm saying? So we don't have a credit card because at one time that was it. I can't run to her when I'm at Walmart or I'm at Sam's or wherever to get a check. So we have to pay for it with my own money and then I get reimbursed. So when we send out newsletters, invoices, anything that's sent out through Trepo, I use my credit card to pay for the postage because they can't wait on that. That postage has to be paid. Now they do send an invoice in for the actual thing, but they will not send them until the postage is paid.
Well, we have a
And just like
business-
Terry always has money, she's always being owed money, especially during membership because she's having to pay for these stamps
Mhm,
up
and all
front
the
with her
postage.
own money.
Yep.
So I just want people to know that no one is getting paid and you are welcome to look at any of our records to show that, because everything that we turn in our receipts. And there was nothing lavishly spent, I can promise you. But that was all.
Okay, well, thank you, Donda. Do a good job.
Yep.
Also too, I'll be going ahead and filing the annual report with Sunbid. So I will actually pay for that on my credit card, so we both for that. So that's an annual report filed.
Everything I buy is on my credit card and you guys reimburse me.
Yeah, but nobody gets written a check
No.
without a receipt and
That's
proper documentation.
right.
Okay, so we'll move on now to new business. We've discussed the fish fry. There's no more.
Okay, when I had the town halls, one of the things that got cut was one of the gate greeters at Hoder Park. And people said they was gonna volunteer, so I'm letting people know now. I'm looking for volunteers. They're gonna work 9 to 6 on Saturday or 10 to 5 on Sunday, and they will have to have some training. So they need to call me if they wanna volunteer. People claim they would, so we figured we'll try it out and see if they will.
Okay, so we have a camera audience that's here listening. Is that something that needs to be posted on our website?
Yeah, I
That-
would, yeah.
So we need to be
And probably.
sure that we have it clear that it's understood you're working from 9 to 6 and 10 to 5, because it wouldn't be fair to try to break those up. It doesn't work. I think y'all been through that. Very
Yeah.
seldom do you change from that. So we need to get something written up in a way that it can be posted very clearly. And
There should be a deadline too, because if she doesn't have them by a certain date,
We're
what are
gonna
we
have to-
gonna do?
We'll figure that out. But yes, we'll go and get that this week.
You know, Facebook and the website.
We have- yeah.
okay, is that all we have on gate readers?
Yeah.
Terry? Then we'll move on to the spring newsletter.
We need one.
Pardon me?
We need one.
Okay.
So is anybody busy? Kathy, Rick, y'all ready to dabble in the newsletter? We need to get one out.
remember Rick saying he would help you with that.
I know. Well, I can't,
We just
but
had a thumbs up.
just
I
because
think,
we,
yeah.
we just like to get it, we need it out in plenty of time to, and for the fish fry.
I'll be his assistant.
And also to kind of reiterate our park rules. So other than
Okay.
that, it's your baby.
Okay, we'll get together.
Very good. All right.
I have new business.
Okay, Vicki?
Couple of things I forgot to mention when I had the treasury report, but I'll come back to that. I wanted to let you know that, and you are aware of this, I received, I wanted the members to know, I received a packet from our attorney, Mr. McCarty. It was from Jesse's attorney, Mr. Broswell, requesting, backup receipts and all kinds of information for 130 checks. I got that request on Thursday, and by the following Tuesday morning, they were delivered in Gainesville. So I want the members to know that we took it very seriously. We jumped right on it and got all the copies made. It took me 10 and a half hours to pull all those records and make those copies. All that backup was in the same files that Jesse went through when he made copies of checks.
Right, okay, I did see that request. I did speak to the attorney about it, and, in spite of some of the, spelling errors and, misinformation, I think we went ahead and presumed, what they were asking for and went ahead and made those corrections anyway.
I believe just about every name on that request, their name was spelled incorrectly.
Mine was.
Yeah.
All of them were.
Yeah.
But anyhow, it was 130 checks and we pulled all the records. I took a lot of records home and took me 3 days to pull the back up and make Xerox copies. So
Please know that's very costly because our attorney has
Very.
to go through each one of those.
well, when I handed it to him, he said he was going to have them scanned, and I thought, oh my goodness, that means you have to go through everything I just went
It has to
through
anyway.
to make copies and
Because he's not
scans.
gonna
Yeah,
Present that to the other attorney, so that's
right,
costing us big money, but it's what it takes. That's why we have an attorney.
exactly. So I don't know what that bill's going to be.
I understand it. I mean, still in the paper, know how much money it's actually costing
Yeah, how much is that?
Free
What does that actually come to?
frivolous
For
lawsuits.
his time,
Yeah.
that could be as much as, 300 an hour up to, and it could run as much as, $2,000, $1,500, $2,000 to go through and review those, but also to respond to the other attorney's, request. So, I mean, it gets quite expensive.
I think we need to go ahead and document that and publish it so that everybody sees what our own members are making us spend on this.
No, that's,
Part of the reason
hey, that's
we
just
go
part of,
out.
that's just part of it. I do realize what you're saying. So I don't single anybody else. That's what people want to choose to
I
do.
said our own
They do
numbers.
that, yeah.
But I have a question. Is there any way we can come up with a procedure? I mean, there have been 3 other occasions that we sat while the records were going through here at the clubhouse, and 2 or 3 of us were here all day long.
Right,
So then I had to go back through those very same records and pull the very same checks
right.
and make copies of all the backups. So is there a procedure on going
It is,
forward?
it's in state law. It is the statute, the 720 statute. So it prescribes exactly what we're required to do. Anyone can request anything related to the work that we do.
Well, why not let them come in and make those very same copies for their attorney instead of us doing it?
It'll take care of itself. It's working its way through.
But what I'm also saying is, does that mean that the same request can come through for those same documents
Yeah.
over and over?
Yeah, sure can.
Okay.
Over and
Okay.
over.
Okay.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Can we just put all that on the website
Yes, we need to. I think.
and then just kind of be done with it? I don't think it's fair that you're spending your time and, 10 hours. I think you should be paid for that and actually make a motion for that, because that's really unfair.
Well, there's one instance where I know the tax records were there. I used my magnifier, I saw them. And then apparently he claimed we didn't give it to him, and I know we did. So
Why don't we do this? Let me consult with the attorney, on this. And let's see, we don't have this happen that often. So let me consult with the attorney before we go out and create a process, review process, okay?
Okay, and then I did want to mention in my financial report, I forgot that I wanted to mention that I made a deposit on January the 2nd, and it was for $15,807. And the very next day, the bank went in and made a debit for $350. Well, then they went in on the 3rd and credited 145. So I've been working with the bank every week since January the 2nd. And they first said, when I give them an itemized list, every check in that deposit's listed. Like if there's 114 checks, they're all listed. And it has the check number and it has the member's number and then it has the amount. Well, they can't tell me what check was $350. So we went through this squabbling and they said, well, you must have lost a check. And I said, and I did not lose a check because they were saying that I was minus one check in the deposit.
Don't you take a picture of the check?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every check, everything is copied when Terry gives it to me. She checks it, she writes out her form, I check her figures. If there's a mistake or anything, I correct it and sign it. But when it goes to the bank, it's been through 2 people. So anyhow, they're still researching it, but what I wanted to mention was that the bank found on January the 30th that one of the checks for $155 was not processed that was in that bank deposit. So they credited it almost a month later. But now the deposit is still $25 off. We had a cash deposit on that same bank statement for $25 and that got credited. And there were 8 checks for $25 in that deposit and every one of those checks got posted. So where the $25 is, they're still researching it and they can't tell me. So I'm real frustrated with Seacoast Bank. But on my new business, now that you know all that, my new business is, we have that bank account for $50,000 that doesn't pay hardly any interest whatsoever.
Right.
Well, we were made aware that Bank of America does business with Merrill Lynch, and they have a flexible CD that you can get for any amount over $1,000, and it pays 4%. The only restriction is that the first 7 days that you put the money in there, you can't touch it. But after that 7 days, it's flexible. If you need the money, you can get it out, and it pays 4%.
That's good.
So I turned around then and called Seacoast, and they have a money market account. It's a minimum $2,500, and you have to do at least 11 transactions a month, which we do that in our regular working fund. And it pays 5.15% per month. And they also have a 90-day CD for 5.25%. But that 90-day, of course, it's tied up for 90 days. But my thinking is if we're not going to do a build out of the clubhouse, that 50,000's been sitting there for a couple of years now, not making any interest, would the board like for me to move it to either Seacoast or this Merrill Lynch and get us some money?
You're kind of throwing it on us, but I appreciate all the work with that. That sounds. We could always wait 90 days on anything.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
You know,
too.
so, board members, y'all have any thoughts? Just-
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Instead of leave that money.
Absolutely. I think we.
But I think we'd be better at Seacoast, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 5%.
Lose it like everything else.
Well, that's my apprehension on that because,
Seacoast, I think they do
Okay.
there's something strange about that process. Just can't imagine if you make a deposit and they gave you a deposit ticket and the deposit.
but what they're saying is different from Drummond is when you go through the drive-through and you hand them a wad of checks and cash, they somehow run them through and they give you a deposit receipt for whatever you said you had. And then they do all this verification on the back end.
That's true, yeah.
And I'm going, okay, that's fine, but I've got a receipt saying I deposited this amount. You're telling me it's 350 short. Somebody needs to tell me which one didn't get paid, because now I got to go back to the member and say, your check wasn't in there. You owe me $350. So, yeah. So I said, we can't run a business like this. You got to tell me more than what you're telling me.
Wouldn't it be better to walk into the bank and let it stand there while they do it?
I don't know that it is, because when you come in with that amount of
Vicky,
checks,
let me ask you a question though. You already, took a picture of the check.
yes.
Okay, so the member paid it. You have a record of that, but you're saying the bank doesn't have that check?
Okay, like on that 155 that was missing in that deposit,
Yep.
the girl actually told me on the phone, well, you need to look around and see if you can find the check, because we only got 113. We didn't get 114 checks. And I'm going, no, I handed them 114 checks. Well, then they found a check that didn't get in that same deposit, didn't get processed. Well, where did they find that? I don't know. That 350 that was in question to begin with was somebody's money order ahead of us that got in with our deposit, and then they went back later and debited for it. So I'm going, oh my gosh, this is just like too much. That deposit for that money order didn't even belong to us. It just got in there and then they I don't know.
So at
It's
least
very
they
confusing.
found it.
Huh?
At least they
So,
found
so
it.
we still, right now, at this time, have a dispute over $25.
$25.
Is, and the $25 is the difference in what you're saying that we have and what they're saying that we have. Is
I
that
think
correct?
so, yes. And I told the girl, I said, you know, I've already wasted
That's what
$25
they do
worth.
every day. They
Why don't you
should
just
have
give
that.
it to me? Because I'm gonna keep calling you till I get it.
Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
When you're doing your deposit, did you make a copy of your deposit ticket?
Yeah.
That with, then why would there be a discrepancy? You go to the bank with a copy that you.
Well, I'll give you another, for instance, they don't keep my copy. And next time I go in to make a deposit, that's
You
exactly
keep
what.
your copy.
I have a copy, but I give them a copy too, and you know what they do? They run everything through, and then when they send my receipt out to me, they send the copy back. So they're not keeping the copy to make any kind of reconciliation on the back end. I think that's a problem.
That's poor bank.
So, well, I hate it when they say, well, Mr. Hunter, you know, you, your deposit's not right. You know, that happens to me sometimes. So, yeah. Very seldom comes the other way, but, all right, you're working that out, right? Okay,
Our
great.
bank fees clearly identified, our bank fees. Do they have fees for?
They don't charge us, I don't believe, because we have enough transactions every month.
Right.
So do we want to use that? Do we want to go ahead and use that, 50? We can actually postpone, what we're doing for at least 90 days, if that's your period.
You want a 90-day CD at
No,
5.25%?
just on, that's an option, board members. I'm
It is
asking
an
for you,
option.
Jane.
Or we can get a money market account.
Motion that we do it.
Okay.
Uh,
All right, well, let's, do we have a consensus? Does everybody feel that way? At the table? Okay, we'll just go forward with that. Yeah.
And the bank's not gonna tell you, you gotta go find out.
All right, well, then let's just do that, okay?
Okay, so James made the motion. Do we have a
We're not
second?
gonna motion.
We don't
We're
need
just-
that?
We're just gonna go with the board. That's the
Okay.
finance committee. You're making up.
Okay, thank you.
You're not spending any more. You're not.
Making money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
5%.
Okay.
A lot better than
Anything else?
30%.
Stick in the eye.
Anything else?
Well, let's see here. We've already covered, okay, we've covered all the new business. Is that any other board members? Okay, so the old business with the porta potty removal, that's a major topic of concern. We've already handled that. Okay, Rick?
Following up on the board directive for paving Riverside Avenue for safety reasons as outlined in the motion a month or so ago. I visited the Public Works Department basically this morning, and I filed our request with the secretary up there. So he said that she'd contact me with any questions that they have. So that's the status for now.
Excellent.
Sounds good.
Excellent.
Did you get her name? Yeah.
The one or two on the fishing part wouldn't work. But was it Brenda, the other one that we had to pick up the porta potty?
Yeah.
Would, it be doable to have like a composting toilet there, or is it just too many, too much?
The issue would be
You get an
that,
outhouse?
well,
I don't think that's legal, but I see what you're saying.
No, they have composting toilets that run off propane and electricity, but and it turns into ash. But the problem is, we would have to, people steal the toilet paper out of these things, you wouldn't believe. You know,
I think
and
we've been down that.
currently-
We debated this pretty hard before, so.
yeah, so
Let's
taking
see how
care
much
of it,
pain we can handle, and then we'll deal with it later. Okay,
taking care of it, we would have.
okay, so, okay.
For old business, Carrie, you mentioned last month that we had gotten complaints from Columbia County on our people's property being in disarray. Did we ever receive a formal letter from them? And are we doing something about it?
I got an email, but I was told we need like 3 or 4 to go at one time.
From whom?
That's code enforcement, so you're working with, okay.
Yeah.
So you need emails from whom?
If anybody wants to complain.
Oh, so we're not waiting for Columbia County to do the complaining.
Yeah,
They,
but-
they won't, unless it's, in their face, but, property owners will have to file a complaint. Most folks are not gonna wanna do that because they have to put their name on it, but if we've stated clearly and, as this board, that if property owners here make a complaint to this board, we will take it, before the commission or before the code enforcement. We let it work through its channel, so, am I correct? Is that not what we agreed to?
Yeah.
So that's where we stand right now. So all we have to have is some folks document that we're not gonna go after that as a board, because we're not gonna get into code enforcement. However, we will take that on behalf of our members if there's some complaints. That's what we agreed to do.
So anything that's in our restrictions and protective covenants, such as item 13 and 14 and some others.
Yep.
Apply to this, right? Because
Yes.
there's a lot of people that are violating those things.
Right.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Hilda. Anything else on old business, board members? Okay, we'll move on to, property owners. Does anyone want to speak to the board? Not hearing any. Oh, go ahead, sir. I have Steve raised his hand.
Well, I want to go a little further on. I like this guy's idea about recycling the keys, but I'd like to bring up something a little different though. How much a ballpark figure does it cost to buy a key and stamp a key? $5? Would that be a big?
4 to 5.
Okay. How about this? Tell the people to knock off $5 if they turn their key back in. The number's already on it, lay it back, recycle it the next year. Just change the lock to fit that.
People would just hold on to their key.
Well, again, though, if you give them $5 though, and whatever, I see your point too. Never mind.
We've-
Not from the hills.
No, we welcome everything, and we've thought about that.
Well, I'm different, but I'll tell you this, I haul scrap cars for 30 years. You won't mess with enough that you might, I wouldn't melt those down in cars. You're not gonna get $10 out of the keys. It's not gonna be worth the time. I just thought that, anyway.
Okay, do we have someone else want to speak? Yeah, John.
If we're having trouble with the bit large pavilion with people leaving gates open, having gatherings, et cetera, is that true?
Yeah,
Okay. When did we stop doing the reservations so that we could identify who is in there and who is responsible?
The people that's going in there ain't reserving it. Cause it's not on.
We do have the reservations.
people
someplace.
come there, all the time too, and leave the lights and stuff on because they stay after dark. And then I'll go by and they'll be on. That's the
The
other.
reason they reserve the pavilion is so that they know they have the pavilion.
Yeah.
But in not our peak times and our slow
Huh?
times, a lot of folks just show up and use the pavilion.
Maybe we should then think about having reservations if you're using that pavilion, regardless of peak or what have you.
I would not want to do that because I think it's going to get cumbersome stuff.
I could see that at Camping Park, but not this one. That way we know who's in camping park at night.
But that's a
I
good
thought
point.
we already had it.
But during our peak season, if you don't reserve it, you won't get it,
Right.
because it's literally
I
booked.
thought that's for groups of like 11 or more anyway, wasn't it?
Should be.
Any group of more than 12 should be notifying the board who they are.
Right, but obviously there's gonna be 5 or 6 people, there's not gonna be a dozen.
Okay, thank you, John. Yeah, Jesse.
Have we tried sending the members that you guys are speaking of letters, to let them know that there is somebody who's upset about the way the property is, to see if we just go ahead and fix it on their own? Or-
I think that would be an excellent idea, and I will be glad to draft letters.
Yeah, I would say,
But
I would say
really
this, I put it on the website, that's expensive to be sending out letters, I'll be making, put it in the newsletter and put it on our website if you are concerned. You want, and you, feel you need to make a complaint, you can send it to the board.
How about just telling them that they need to read the covenants and restrictions?
Which are found on treepo.net under
Yeah.
documents.
And if people don't know how to do that, they need to go to their library and get assistance, because that's what people do at the library. They
Yeah.
help people who don't know how to do this kind of stuff.
And who you work with, Hilda?
Can they show you where Shell spell check is?
Okay, do we have anyone else want to speak to the board yet, Jim?
Just kidding.
Also, what y'all are talking about me, is borderline slander. I have not, on any of the stuff y'all talked about, it's not a lawsuit. Record request, but not lawsuit. So y'all slandering me and saying that I have filed a lawsuit on you is getting real borderline. I'm tired of y'all saying it. Until y'all receive a court document saying that you've been,
You asked that.
I've actually filed one, you need to stop saying that it's a lawsuit because you're lying to everybody. And the frivolous one is even worse. That's decided by a judge. So
Okay,
you
so
might want to
let's-
think about that as well.
All
Who
right, thank
said
you.
that? I don't think anyone
made
said that.
Statement
Nobody
in
made
your
that
name,
statement.
so, we're talking about, actions that are coming before of what we're having to do. We're not talking about you. And I
You
did make
said
it,
my
I did
name.
make it very,
And
very
you
clear.
said about
I never
lawsuit,
said your
and Mr.
name.
Baker said about frivolous lawsuit.
So anyway, what I said is that anyone can file a complaint or public records request on anything over and over if they want to. So we didn't say
Records,
that,
all we're talking
yeah.
about. We didn't say anything about lawsuits.
I said about lawsuits, I said, I didn't say lawsuits, I said, we're having to deal with this through our attorney to respond to another attorney, and it's costing us money. Say your name.
I've questioned you before about lawsuits, and you
Yeah.
mentioned that there was one about the guy that got shot out here, and another one about a record request.
Yeah.
Another time that you said
Well,
that.
of course, I've got to be open to the public, yeah. Okay, we're gonna end
Attention.
this, but no, this board's not taking it. Folks have the right to file a lawsuit. And if you're filing lawsuits, that's fine. You'll deal with it through our attorney, and you deal with it through your attorney if you are the one filing it. But we'll go forward with that. Does anyone else have anything, anybody in the public want to speak? You want to say something? No? Okay, all right, then, motion to adjourn. Motion by Wayne, a second by Charlie. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
It's hard, isn't it?
Oh, you said, oh, brother.